Hey guys, how's it going? Ezekiel the Barber back with another barber tutorial for you. Thanks for tuning in. Today we have the wall clipper. Always want to keep that clipper unplugged. So we've covered the Oster fast feed already. This is a 3-part video. So next up is the WAHL Senior. So we'll be doing that today. And then we'll also in my next video cover the Andis Master clipper, which is a legendary clipper. But that will be on our next video. For today's video, we're gonna go ahead and cover the WAHL 5-star Senior clipper. So let's go ahead and get into kind of how to maintain and maintenance this clipper, what I like to do. So basically for today's exercise, you're just gonna need a Phillips head screwdriver, and I'm also using an air duster. So we'll go ahead and get into it. So there's basically 3 screws. So we'll go ahead and take out those screws. Here's the air duster, the electronic air duster that I like to use, and the Phillips head screwdriver. All right, so let's go ahead and get to work. All right, so we'll go ahead and take out these screws here. We'll start pretty much wherever you want to, but I'll just start here. Okay, cool. So now that we have the top off, let's kind of see what's under the hood. So this is one of my relatively newer clippers, so it doesn't really look that bad. It looks like everything's pretty good. The motor looks excellent. I've had this clipper for about a little over a year. Everything looks pretty good. Not a lot of hair in there, as you can see. So that's basically what you want to see there. Everything nice and clean. We'll still go ahead and blow everything out with the air duster and brush any hair off. But other than that, everything looks pretty good with this clipper. So that's a really good indication that this clipper is doing good. This is basically kind of what you want to see. So here we'll just go and see if there's any hair kind of in the front compartment. So we'll just take these 2 screws off with a Phillips head screwdriver. Alright, so once you get the blades off, you also definitely, a lot of times I like to clean this area. A lot of hair could be stuck in there. Alright, so we do have this piece of material that is pretty much right there. Now this just helps as a guard to keep hair from getting more inside the clipper. But as you can see here, this thing's pretty much had it, so I don't think I'm gonna actually put that back on. The reason being is it's just not sanitary, and it's already kind of broken up and everything, so I just feel it's better to clean my clippers every few months, just make sure that hair is not in there, and we should be just fine. If you do your maintenance often, then you should be just fine. So that's basically what I do here. Every 3 or 4 months I go through this process and just make sure everything's nice and clean. Now, of course, this can void your warranty, so if you've had this clipper for, less than the time that it's warranted, you probably shouldn't do this. But if you're over that warranty, you probably definitely need to make sure that your clippers are clean, hair-free, just in a really good working condition. This is very important to get the hair out. A lot of times when you use disinfectants or type of sprays to keep the clippers clean and cool, it is flammable. So a lot of times when that hair gets in there, so does the disinfectant or the cool care or whatever flammable chemical that you're using. So you definitely want to keep that hair out of there, because that basically can create maybe a fire or something like that, and which you definitely don't want that to happen. So it's always good to periodically check to make sure everything is nice and clean. All right, little hair. Now this is the cutting blade. So you always want to make sure that the cutting blade is never over the steel blade. So you never want that to over gap. So you just put this back in place here. All right, pretty easy there. And then you'll just grab the steel blade. Just gonna make sure that's nice and clean. Now, believe it or not, maintenance exercises like this will add longevity and a long life to your clipper. A lot of times when that hair gets stuck in there, your clipper can't really breathe, so it suffocates. The motor gets really hot. Sometimes, once again, it can cause fires. So this is pretty important. All right, so we're putting the screws back together. Everything looks pretty good. I like to put the screws in just to kind of get everything started and just keep it pretty snug so that I can set the blades. So you basically want the bottom blade, which is the cutting blade, not over gapping or not going over the steel blade. So you see me here. Now I like my blades close to being zero gap, which is going to give me a really close cut. Now everybody has a different preference. But this is mine, so I just want to set it to my liking. As you see here, just setting that clipper. Now as the screw goes tighter, you will see everything else get nice and snug. And once again, not tightening the screws all the way yet until I find the desired place that I want that blade. Looks like everything's good here the way I like it, so it's always zero gap. The bottom blade is not overlapping the steel blade, which is the top blade, so everything looks pretty good here. Everything's clean on the inside. Everything looks as it should. So I think we're pretty good to just go ahead and reassemble everything, put that hood back on. All right, so just cleaning that with the brush, making sure everything's nice and clean. All right, should be pretty good there. Let's slap that back on. And then we would just basically put the screws back in, the 3 screws that we started off with. So we'll just make sure everything's nice and snug. Just want to make sure no hair gets stuck in there and gets tied down with the screws. So always want to kind of make sure everything's nice and clean. All right, so that looks pretty good there. We'll just use that brush to kind of clean any other little hairs off. And then always I like to oil my clippers and disinfect. So we'll just cut everything on, make sure everything works as it's supposed to. Everything looks pretty good there. All right, lever, everything works the way it's supposed to. So basically when I get to this point, you're basically done. I just like to oil my blades. Once the blades are oiled, you're all set to go. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, take care.